I'll start with the bad news. If you do this now, you'll shorten your life expectancy significantly. Whatever we do, one thing is clear: we all age, but certain habits lead to premature aging. And by this, I don't just mean smoking or drinking alcohol daily. Those are obvious, and we all know about them. There are other habits, however, that we should all question, at least if you want to live to an old age. In this video, I'll talk about habits that actually cause premature aging. These are things that you might not always think about or even realize, but you should avoid them. The really good news is that, to a large extent, you are in control of how old you become. To give you some perspective, scientific research now estimates that you could live up to 120 years with the right habits and a bit of luck. Hello, we are Better Body Daily, and with our YouTube channel, we want to provide medical, understandable, and correct information about diseases, causes of these diseases, and what we can do about them ourselves with our own diet combined with exercise and sport. Because all of this is very closely related, and if you don't want to miss anything, then subscribe to our channel now. So let's get into detail. First, let's talk about sleep deprivation. There are 3 things I've started doing regularly, which I used to avoid in the past simply because I didn't know better, but now I try to follow them as much as possible, when circumstances allow it. So please do the following 3 things as well. Drink a glass of warm water first thing in the morning. Take cold showers, or at least alternating hot and cold showers. And sleep more rather than less. Good and sufficient sleep is crucial. That's where the body's recovery processes take place. A study has shown that people who regularly sleep less than 7 hours have a higher risk of heart disease, impaired immune function, and mental health problems. Unfortunately, night shifts and rotating shifts are really bad for aging. With a job like that, you essentially have to quit, or at least avoid this type of work for long-term health. But the study also showed something surprising. It's not just too little sleep that increases mortality risk, but also too much sleep. People who regularly sleep more than 9 hours also have an increased risk of cardiovascular disease and metabolic disorders like diabetes. The ideal sleep duration is now considered to be between 7 and 9 hours. Of course, it also depends on sleep quality. Frequent wake-ups and lack of deep sleep can also increase the mortality risk. People with sleep disorders have been shown to develop cardiovascular diseases 2 to 7 years earlier than healthy sleepers. This includes those with breathing disorders, such as sleep apnea, pauses in breathing while sleeping. So it is worth talking about how we can improve our sleep. A friend once told me that sleeping poorly for just 10 years cost him a significant part of his life. He only realized it because his wife noticed it. There are other things that can help with sleep, like delaying caffeine or stimulants until the morning, and establishing evening routines for a more restful night. Another tip is about exercising. Evening workouts can stimulate the body too much and make it harder to fall asleep. I've personally stopped doing intense bike workouts in the evening. Try experimenting by shifting your exercise to the morning or lunch breaks. It's obvious that people working in shifts can't follow all the tips as easily. But if you're lucky enough not to work night shifts, it's crucial to focus on positive habits for a longer life. Another important point is social isolation. Studies show that feeling lonely or isolated increases the risk of premature death by around 30%. Social contact is incredibly important. You don't need 100 friends, but having a few is crucial. You can volunteer, get involved in sports groups, or just meet new people. Even if you have a dog, walking outside is a great way to meet others. Many libraries or local clubs organize game afternoons for seniors. Physical activity and social engagement are key for your health and longevity. If you feel lonely, find ways to connect with others and break out of isolation. Now let's talk about stress. Stress is an inevitable part of life, and while it can have a positive function such as helping you to perform well in the short term, chronic stress is harmful. Chronic stress has been linked to changes in immune function and increased inflammation, which in turn can increase the risk of tumor formation. If you're experiencing chronic stress, it's essential to incorporate relaxation techniques into your daily routine. Deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and regular exercise can be helpful. But more importantly, find the root cause of your stress. It could be too many commitments or personal problems. Mental health and self-care are vital. I personally take time out for sports or walking to relax. It's crucial to take care of your mind and body. Now let's discuss dieting. Many people turn to diets to lose weight, but constant dieting and weight fluctuations can accelerate aging. If you don't provide your body with enough energy through food, your body starts to break down its glycogen stores and eventually even muscle mass. This can lead to an increased risk of falls, osteoporosis, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. A protein-rich diet is crucial, and crash diets are not a good idea. These not only break down muscle but also collagen, causing the skin to sag and wrinkles to form. Additionally, radical dieting leads to nutrient deficiencies, which slow down cellular regeneration, weaken the immune system, and lower your metabolic rate. This results in the so-called yo-yo effect after the diet. So avoid crash diets. Instead, change your eating habits gradually. If you want to lose weight in particular, your limit for a calorie deficit. Each day should not be higher than 300 to 500 calories. Now, let's talk about spending too much time indoors. Many people spend 80% of their time indoors. If you're not moving enough, not only do you gain excess weight, but you also increase your risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, dementia, cancer, and premature death. Additionally, a lack of vitamin D is associated with health risks. A prolonged vitamin D deficiency can disrupt bone metabolism, leading to conditions like osteoporosis. Vitamin D also plays a role in the immune system, cardiovascular health, and even tumor development. The body can synthesize vitamin D through sunlight exposure, specifically UVB radiation, so try to spend at least 30 minutes a day outside in the sunlight. Most of our vitamin D is produced by the sun, and during certain months, April to October. It's easier to get enough sunlight. A rule of thumb is that when your shadow is shorter than your body, you're getting enough UV exposure. Many people, however, don't get enough sunlight, which is why many people suffer from a vitamin D deficiency. Supplementation might be necessary, especially as we get older. Another important aspect is artificial lighting and high screen time, which can affect your circadian rhythm. I personally avoid using my phone at least an hour before bed to improve my sleep. Lastly, indoor air quality can also impact your health. Fine dust in indoor air is often higher than in outdoor air, and it can damage your lungs and skin, speeding up aging. Regular ventilation of indoor spaces is important. Finally, while sunlight is crucial for vitamin D production, UV radiation can damage your skin and eyes. UV radiation is responsible for 80 to 90% of all skin cancers. So use sun protection, SPF 50 for the skin, UV protecting sunglasses, and a suitable hat. Sun protection should not just be used in the summer. From a UV index of 3, you should use sunscreen with an SPF of at least 30, and this can occur as early as March or April. It's important to check the UV index and use sunscreen accordingly, especially if you're spending a lot of time outside or have a skin type that burns easily. There are different skin types with varying sensitivities to UV radiation, but it's not just UV rays that make us age faster. Smoking is a huge factor too. Tobacco smoke contains over 5,000 chemicals, including free radicals that damage DNA. Smoking increases the risk of cancer, heart disease, lung problems, premature skin aging, and more. On average, smoking shortens men's lives by 9 years and women's by 7. I know it's incredibly hard to quit. After 10 to 15 years of smoking, it becomes a true addiction. It's more than just a habit, it's dependency. Many know how unhealthy it is, but still feel powerless to stop. Still, the truth remains. Smoking costs lives. Another key topic is nutrition. If you are watching my videos, you know how important this is to me, not just for appearances. Yes, I sometimes indulge. Fries, burgers, or a kebab, but the key word is occasionally. Long-term consumption of heavily processed foods, too much sugar, salt, unhealthy fats, and unbalanced meals is harmful. So, get your blood checked. Vitamin D, B12, iron, zinc, thyroid levels, etc. Check your levels and adjust your diet. If needed, supplement accordingly. Also, drink enough fluids. And by that, I mean water, not alcohol or soft drinks. Drink cold water daily. It even has a slight thermogenic effect. Here's your first step after this video. Drink a glass of cold water. In the morning, start your day with a glass of warm water. Make this a daily habit. And if you're up for it, try cold showers. Start with your legs. It takes some effort at first, but it really helps. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.